Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, need to subscribe and turn on that post notification bell so you can be notified whenever I post a new video. So today we're going to be going over different breastfeeding positions. Shy, how old are you? 1. So Shy is now a year old, as he just told y'all. So some of these positions were easier when he was an infant versus now, but either way they'll still work. So stay tuned. S to the C double O S A. Scoosa is the name, and I do this every day. So like, subscribe, turn on notification, cause I'm bringing the heat with no hesitation. Yeah. So the first position, I guess this is like the most common position. So this is the first position. And you get that boobie. You want some boobie? That's a tea. That's a tea. That's a tea. So this would be the first position, of course. My favorite position when Shy was a baby was the football hold. Talking about football, look at the football on the shirt. But my favorite position with the football hold, I can't do it now because he's too big, but as an infant, this was the easiest for me. So my assistant isn't acting right, so we're just gonna use the baby. So like I was saying, football hold, which is my favorite position. You hold him like a football. You know how you run. So you hold him like a football. And he nurses right here. So this was another way that I was able to get a lot done in the house. Would be him nursing, me holding him in the football position, and my left hand is free. So I'm able to clean and do other things that need to be done. So that's the second position. And like I said, that was my favorite position. Number 3 would be lying down. So I would lay back and, baby can nurse and such. Sometimes even change the position to where the baby is upright like this and nursing. So also speaking of lying back, both of my kids dream fed. So whenever they would wake up in the middle of the night, I would lay down and put them on the boobie just like this. Have me a pillow. Don't mind Shy, y'all. Have me a pillow. And I would go back to sleep and they would lay right there and nurse. And yeah, this was very helpful at night. So our little helper is knocked out. So number 4, another way that I found helpful to breastfeed was, I don't have a boppy pillow anymore as my kids outgrew them. But you know the little boppy pillow, the one that curves around your waist? So I would put the boppy pillow on around my waist and I would sit. Both of them, I would sit them up here like this, and you see, they would just nurse like this, and my hands are free, and I would just be chilling, watching TV, whatever, and they would be nursing. So that was another way that I enjoyed breastfeeding. And last but not least, when I'm out and about, I would nurse both of my babies just like this in the carrier, where nobody can see. And it's very easy and convenient. So this is also another way you could discreetly breastfeed. So if you haven't seen my ways to discreetly breastfeed in public video, I'll link that up here somewhere, and I'll also leave it in the description box below. This is also how I cleaned up around the house too. Nursing, both of my hands are free. I can clean, I can sweep, I can vacuum, I can mop, all that. Also, tips for breastfeeding. Number 1, and the one that I tell everybody is, if you want to breastfeed, then breastfeed. What I mean by that is, go in with plan A. Don't have a plan B. Don't have a plan C. If you want to breastfeed, breastfeed. I feel like a lot of times if we have a plan B, then it's just like, okay, I'm going to try plan A. If it don't work, I'm going to just go to plan B. But with breastfeeding, it's one of those things where you have to be set in stone and have in your mind that you want to breastfeed and you're going to breastfeed. Therefore, whatever obstacles come upon you during your breastfeeding journey won't deter you from breastfeeding, because you know you have an option B, you have an option C. So go in it with the mindset that you're going to breastfeed and you'll breastfeed. Number 2, I hear a lot of women say they weren't producing enough milk, their baby wasn't getting enough. And a lot of times it's because they aren't physically seeing any breast milk. But when your breast milk comes in, it comes in as colostrum, and colostrum a lot of times can't be seen. So we think our babies aren't getting enough, but they really are. Also, to make milk, you have to move milk. So the more your the more you're moving milk, the more milk it's going to make. What I mean by moving milk is you have to continue to latch the baby. Also, pumping, hand expressing. The more milk you're moving, your body is going to continue to make milk. So when you have a newborn, they tell you to feed the baby every 2-3 hours. A lot of times babies want to feed more than just 2-3 hours. So feed on demand. Whenever your baby is hungry, or if you put your baby on the breast and the baby is just continuing to suck, let your baby suck. The more your baby is sucking and the baby is latching, the more your body is going to produce milk. And like I said, remember, around the first 3 days, a lot of women milk do not come in until day 3, day 4. So you won't physically see it, but your body is going to be producing it. Number 3, like I said with number 2, you have to move milk to make milk. So that's the number 1 way to produce milk. But if you have to, there are some lactation cookies, some lactation brownies, some lactation teas, all kind of stuff that you can try to help with your milk production. I know for me, I took, it was a supplement called Fenugreek. I took Fenugreek capsules because with my first child, Orion, I didn't feel like I was producing enough milk because I wasn't physically seeing it. But as that was my first child and I really didn't know any better, I went ahead and got some Fenugreek capsules. And I want to say the next day, after the first day I took the capsule, the next day my body was producing like 8 ounces of milk. But I've also seen where fenugreek can stop milk production. So I want to say anything you try, any tea, any supplements, anything, try it at your own risk because what works for some may not work for others. Number 4, do not listen to the people around you because a lot of people are going to try to steer you away from breastfeeding. They'll say things like, why you want to breastfeed? Or I can't breastfeed because I need me a drink. Or, you hear a lot of the negative things that come with breastfeeding when breastfeeding is the best thing that you can ever give your child. And that's not an opinion, that's just facts, period. So I feel like you should ignore those negative comments that come with opinions about your breastfeeding journey. If you know you want to breastfeed, then you need to breastfeed regardless of what people say. Also, let me say that cluster feeding is normal too, and it's a real thing. So you can be breastfeeding your baby, and your baby could just want to be at the breast almost all day. It is normal. It's natural. It happens. So, I mean, you could be out somewhere, because it happened to me, around other people, and they're like, that baby needs some food, or that baby not getting enough milk because the baby won't get off the titty. Like, no. It's a comfort thing too. So, a lot of babies, I know my kids did, use me as a pacifier because they didn't really get pacifiers, so my boot to them was the pacifier. So yeah, I had those people telling me my babies wasn't getting enough. And remind y'all, Shy was like 17 pounds before he even turned 1. Like, Shy was a big baby. I can show y'all some pictures. And he was strictly breastfed. Shy didn't get solid food until I want to say he was about 7 months. And even then, his diet was mainly breast milk. So all that stuff that people be saying about the baby not getting enough, as long as your baby not losing weight, then your baby is getting enough. The vitamins, the nutrients, everything that come with breastfeeding, your baby is getting enough. So do not listen to what other people say. Breastfeeding normal again. Like, bring breastfeeding back. Forget that formula and all the other stuff. I'm not knocking formula. Let me say that because sometimes formula is needed. But when you want to breastfeed, that's all you need is breastfeeding positivity. You don't need nothing else that's going to deter you from that. Like, we are already go through a lot as mothers and being, new moms, especially like when it comes to our kids. We already go through enough, from postpartum depression to anxiety to all of that. So we don't need nothing else distracting us from our goals that we set for our baby. So if I set a breastfeeding goal for me and my kids, I'm not going to align myself with anybody who's going to try to deter me from that, or anybody who's going to try to scare me, or like I said, I want to breastfeed, I'm going to breastfeed, period. Number 5, I can say when you're breastfeeding, you don't want to introduce a bottle, a pacifier, even a nipple shield. You don't want to introduce none of that to your child until your child is at least, I want to say, 3-4 months. Because your child can very likely get nipple confusion. You can Google it if you don't believe it's a such thing. But it's a such thing called nipple confusion. And Araya had it for a little while where she would only take her pacifier in a bottle. She did not want my breast. And being that my goal was to breastfeed, I was hurt. I was angry. I was upset. Like, my baby not taking my breast. All she want is the milk out the bottle. Like, I wanted that bond. So for me, I ended up stopping the bottles. I stopped the pacifier. I cut all of that. And I strictly breastfed her. But I know I can't say that for everybody because I was home with the riot. A lot of babies do have to go to daycare and nurseries or whatever. So it may not be that easy. But I do want to emphasize holding off on giving your baby a bottle, a pacifier, any of those things until you have to. So hold off on it as long as you can until your baby is about to start daycare. Just only offer the breast. Just give your baby the breast, period. Also, I want to say store some breast milk because breast milk heals almost everything. When they say breast milk is gold, breast milk is liquid gold. And it, like I said, it cures almost anything. My baby's had that baby acne. I would take a cotton swab, add some breast milk onto that, dab it all over their bodies. The next day, gone. No more. Gone. Ear infections, breast milk. Pink eye, breast milk. Just anything, breast milk. So I want to say that too. Store some breast milk for babies not to drink, but for them to, just for infections, just any other thing. You can even add it to your bath water. Like, Araya had eczema at first, so I would add the breast milk to her baths, and that would help with her eczema. It would help with the scratching. So, I mean, any other time I would get him a bath, I would just take some of the breast milk that I had, pour it into the bath water, and boom. Like I said, just store some breast milk because breast milk helps for everything. So, thank y'all for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, please give me a thumbs up. Comment down below. Let me know some other ways that y'all use y'all breast milk. If you have any questions, please comment down below and I will answer them as best as I can. And I will see y'all in the next video.